A mystic, yogi, visionary, humanitarian, author and poet. Sadhguru is a spiritual master with a difference. Traversing seamlessly from the ancient to the ultramodern, he bridges the gap between the known and unknown, making a clear break from the mere customs and rituals. Sadhguru presents the inner dimension in a scientific manner.
Physically being strong in yoga does not mean how many inches do you have here. It means how wiry and strong has the connecting wires become. That's the important aspect. So Surya Shakti does this in a tremendous way. There is an element of spiritual process in this. When we say Surya, we're talking about the sun. When we say sun, we are talking about the basic powerhouse for this planet. Everything on this planet is solar powered. No, I can hear the generator. Even what the generator is running on, the hydrocarbon fuels, are a consequence of the solar energy. Just about anything on this planet, all life on this planet is solar powered, including yourself. So the solar cycles run in 12.25 to 12.5 years. To be able to ride these cycles is a part of your well-being. You can either ride these cycles or you can be crushed by these cycles. You can either ride your bicycle or you can be beaten by somebody else's bicycle. It all depends whether you're riding it or you're being crushed by this. Solar system is like a mill, it's going on. And everything that happens there has a certain impact on the human system because we are a product of that. We are that in many ways. We just pop up out of this planet and go back one day. It's nice that you're sitting outdoor. If you simply sit here in satsang for many years, simply you will… Yes or no? If Mumbai doesn't mind the smell, I don't think they mind. If all of us simply sit here, you will not even be mounds. After some time, everything will be flat. Nobody need to work to make this happen. There are a whole lot of process which will make this happen. We don't have to wait to get this point till that time, we must get it now, that this is how it is. Because everything is in a certain spin, solar system is functioning like a potter's wheel, you shape up like this, and when the expiry date has come, it'll dismantle itself and go back. It's a wonderful process, isn't it? Because you do not recognize the beauty and the efficiency of the process, you resist many dimensions of what's happening. So solar system is centered around the sun, and that is the source of all energy for these few planets, particularly because we are here for this planet. The sun, the planet and the moon have a significant role in making this human body. I will not go into all the detail because many times we've spoken about this, but Surya Shakti is a way of using that cycle so that you bring your physical body to a 12.25 to 12.5 year cycle. If you observe your life carefully, you will see at certain periods, after certain periods of time, if you look back on your life, from let us say the age of 11 or 12, from the beginning of puberty, because till that point you may not be available to the natural cycles of nature. After that, you will find for different people, there are different segments of time, but there is a certain sense of repetitiveness to the situations that you face, the psychological experiences that you have, the emotional situations that you experience. There is a certain time period. Somebody may be going through a 12-year cycle, somebody may going through a 6-year cycle or 3-year cycle or a 18-month cycle or a 9 months or 6-month cycle. If it goes anywhere below 3 months cycle, that means you're in a psychologically, medically in a state where you definitely need treatment. So from absolute health and balance to a complete deterioration, one can notice depending upon the length of cycle that is happening within you. In women, particularly in the female body, their sync with the moon is little more. So because of that, they may not notice the solar cycle as much because they're noticing the lunar cycle much more. But it does not mean a woman is free from this. Fundamentally, everything is a solar cycle. On the surface of being male or female, on the surface, the manifestation of being female, there the lunar cycle is playing much more important role than the solar system. But the fundamental nature of your body is essentially in sync with the solar cycles. Surya Namaskar is a next level of doing things. The original practice or the real practice is Surya Kriya. Surya Namaskar is like a country cousin. Little crude, but still serves the purpose. Surya Shakti is a far-off relative that you just have to endure. When you do not know anything else, you do that because it works pretty well. After all, it's still your blood. So Surya Kriya is a much more refined process which needs enormous attention in terms of the geometry of the body. So right now, in the last 4 to 5 months, we are bringing this forth. First of all, we started with the brahmacharis. They are still in the process of correcting their practice. When the practice is going on geometrically in 100% correct manner, then we will initiate the Surya Kriya in a certain way, and it becomes a very powerful process towards health, physiological health, psychological health, and also as a tremendous spiritual possibility. To live here like any other creature, but still not be a part of it, is an important part of being human. You are like any other creature. You have to eat, you have to sleep, you have to reproduce, you have all the things that every other creature has. But still, being human means you want to be beyond those things somewhere. That is when you feel like a human being. When you give in to those things, you don't feel so human. And whenever you have to do those things which every animal does, either eating or sleeping or reproducing, you want to do it with elaborate arrangement. See, right now I see all the dinner ready there, properly arranged. We can do one thing, we can bring those vessels and throw it here, all of you can eat it like this. It still nourishes you. Actually, it makes you much stronger. With a little bit of soil, everything, you will become immune to many things and, your system becomes much stronger. But that will not agree with your sensibilities. You would like to sit properly, make an elaborate arrangement, light a candle. We're not going to do all that for you today. Play music and eat like that. If you simply eat like this, you will feel like an animal and you don't like it. Yes or no? If you have to sleep, how many arrangements? You see people who do not have such arrangements, just somewhere on the pavement. You don't want to do that. Actually, it's such a blessing that when Mumbai traffic is roaring, somebody is lying down and sleeping right there next to the road. Such a blessing. With all the arrangements, you're not able to sleep properly. But you don't want such a blessing. Yes? You don't want such a blessing because it looks like any other creature. You don't want to be that. You want to sleep properly. This keeps coming back to me. When we were children, at home my mother always made sure just every piece of cloth had a little bit of embroidery at least. Some of them elaborate, at least a little bit. When we traveled, suppose we went and stayed somewhere, where normally in guest houses, those days it was not so much hotels, we always went and stayed in guest houses. My father being in railways, always railway guest houses, where white, clean pillowcases were given to us. But my mother would say, how can children sleep on empty pillows? And she would just pull out her needle and thread and quickly, in 2 minutes, she would produce a small little green parrot or a little 4-petaled flower. And I remember that particular parrot, where the last thing that I'm seeing before I sleep is this parrot. This tiny little green parrot, it is so deeply embedded in my consciousness, so deeply. It is not about the parrot, it is just that somebody thought that a child should not sleep in uncared for circumstances. That little parrot was an indication that you're cared for. This is why I said nobody on this planet should live in an uncared for atmosphere. The whole world should be consecrated, everything should be on. That's how human beings should live. The Surya Kriya, moving towards a space within yourself and around yourself where the circumstance is not in any way intrusive or obstructing the process of life. It allows it to blossom, to create that energy within you and around you. So right now, we are going about meticulously correcting. After 4 months of correction, these are all brahmacharis who have been doing sadhana for 8, 10, 15 years, every day. Their life is about that. In spite of that, getting the geometry of the body right, now they're beginning to understand what it takes. For 15 years they've been doing Surya Namaskar and they believe they're doing it right. They're doing it generally right. If I ask you just to hold your hand like this, you will see we will have to correct you for a month before you get it right. There is so much involved in that. You have seen… maybe I always have a way of touching on the raw nerve. Sachin Tendulkar. No, why? He's not a laughing matter, he's the greatest batsman on the planet. Greatest batting, cricketer on the planet ever, probably. 100, whatever, all that you know. But even he cannot figure a simple thing like how to hit the ball after so many years. Such a simple thing, a ball is coming here, what is there to whack it? I'm sure many young men think, oh, if I was there, every ball would be sixer. You go there and see. you will be hitting only the air. Yes, just striking the ball, such a simple thing. But it doesn't happen like that. Yes or no? It's not a microscopic ball, it's this big. But try to hit it and see. Because getting the geometry of the body right is not a simple thing. If you just get this right, this can download the whole cosmos. It takes a lot of work. Adjusting, readjusting, adjusting, readjusting, just understanding where it is perfect, just to come to that. So if we bring this process, then we'll set fire to it, which is called as initiation. We can set fire to the process and it'll become a phenomenal process of bringing physiological and psychological well-being on one level and becoming a powerful system to ride the cycles of the sun. These sciences were explored and expounded by Shiva, the Adiyogi. And when he did this, he also made use of certain times. He said, actually his attention fell upon the seven sages who have now become very famous. They were doing preparatory sadhana for 84 years around him and he just ignored them. He did not even notice their existence. But one day, when the northern run of the sun was shifting to the southern run, that is from Uttarayana to Dakshinayana, just now we have moved from Dakshinayana to Uttarayana. You know what's a solstice? Hello? You know what's a solstice? Yes? In relation to the planet and the planet's equator, the sun's position will run 6 months tilted towards the north. Another 6 months it runs tilted towards the south. This December 21st, 22nd was solstice. The world ended on that day, you know. And the next time it happens in June 23rd. So at that time, when the sun is beginning to shift from north to south, in both these times, a yogi, one who is in sync with his own system, will naturally make certain adjustments with his body, with his attitude, with his sadhana and his relationship with his environment. He will slowly tune it a little bit because certain fundamentals about the planet are changing at that time. So when he sat down to change this and he paid attention to the environment around him, suddenly he noticed these 7 people and that is how this whole yoga started off. At that time, he also gave certain type of sadhana for the southern run of the sun and certain other type for the northern run of the sun. One famous person who waited to leave his body in the northern run of the sun is Bhishma. You heard of the story? He waited on a bed of arrows for many, many days just to wait for this time, because this is the harvesting time. In Maharashtra, do you have this festival called Shankaranti? Huh? What do you harvest in the stock market? So it is harvesting time, not only for the farmer, but for the yogi too. Whatever sadhana the 6 months is done, this is the time to whip the cream, take it out. So based on that, from this year onwards, we've started the sadhana from January 6th to 27th this year for the ladies and from 27th to 10th of March for men. Are there many ladies who are on the sadhana? No? Okay, a handful of Mumbaikars are on the sadhana, but the men can start from 27th This is a time where you take the cream off. What you have done for the last 6 months, this is the time to take the cream. Otherwise, if you go on whipping it without taking the cream, nothing wrong, anyway it'll accumulate, but you may lose your inspiration. If you see so much cream is coming, you will have more energy to churn. If you don't count your cream, then after some time you wonder, what the hell am I doing? Yes? The dividend has to be there, otherwise you don't know where it's going, isn't it? So, this sadhana has begun from this year. These things will intensify as time goes. With Isha, in the next couple of years, we are going to do some serious work. One thing is in the spiritual dimension, another thing is in the mystical realms. Those of you who have such longings, it's time you begin to arrange your life so that there is a certain amount of time for you just for inner development, just for exploration. Not for career, not for family, not for this, not for entertainment, just for exploration of your interiority and more. If you're interested, you must start making arrangements, because there's a whole bunch of people on this planet, oh, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that, I wish I had done this. They'll only wring their hands, they'll do nothing else. So if you wish that you must do something in this direction, you must start arranging time. And none of these programs will cost you any money, just time. Introduction is free, but it costs your life. If you get introduced to this dimension, suddenly everything that you thought as life looks like pfft. Because this happened to me, I want to see that it happens to you. You know, do unto others what you do unto yourself. So the Surya Kriya is a fantastic process through which we don't have to extract the tooth, we can slowly grind it out. That is the significance of mixing the physical with the spiritual element of practice. If you make the practice purely spiritual, tooth will be pulled out and you will miss it. Though the pain is gone, though it feels wonderful, still you will miss it. The idea and the significance of mixing the physical practice and the spiritual process in a certain alignment is just this, that it wears out slowly. You won't feel the loss. One day when you put your tongue, one tooth will be gone. I hope it's not the wisdom one. The smart way of handling life is that whatever you're doing is first perfectly legally compliant, socially compliant, but still you are a thief. That's a stock market, isn't it?